everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 5. Or should I say, the final episode. Yeah, it's been like over a month since my last episode, and that's just because I didn't know what to do. I knew the end of the season was right around the corner, and I didn't really have anything else I really wanted to do. Didn't want to really get into any big projects or anything because, you know, this season's pretty much finished. So I've just kind of been procrastinating doing anything, and, you know, I've done other things, like I've played other games, actually worked on a game. I have the game finished now. I'm just waiting on Tyler to finish something for me for it. That is the whole reason I haven't got an update for that out yet. Anyway, seeing as this is the final episode, today I'm going to go and kind of tour all the projects I've done this season, and then also some of the other things that have happened this season, starting, of course, with my base, which we've been here at the beginning of this episode, and is actually quite a recent addition to the area. But yeah, it's a giant brick building, supposed to be factory, giant smokestacks, got some crew quarters and Wandering Trader, apparently. Another portal here, as well as a bit of a dock. Now, the reason why I built this giant factory, or the reason why I'm here in general, is because of this crazy storage system here, where the output from all my farms is basically right here, stored in shulker boxes for me to use. And we'll get back to that a little later. First of all, we're gonna fly over here and show off the storage system that I also built quite recently, as well as the super smelter over here, which is actually coming quite handy to build this entire building. As well as that, down below, I didn't really do anything with the Mushroom Island, I just built over it, but down below we have a massive chunk loading grid. Oh, and also, since the last episode, I built a sea pickle farm here to get a bunch of lime dye for JRD Cool. That was a bit of a project. But the whole reason for the chunk loading grid is because this isn't just some ordinary storage system. No. This storage system gets its items directly from the farms, which are located all over the world. Well, really in a specific small subset of it. And that's what this whole system over here is. This system allows hopper minecarts to come in from there and load and deposit all their items into the system for storage over here. Now, as you can tell by the fact that there's a lot of unused capacity, I was planning to do a lot more with this, but then lack of motivation and it being kind of hard, I just kind of didn't, I guess. I also didn't even end up using this last module here, which is really big. I don't remember what I was originally going to store there. But anyhow, speaking of originally going to store there, while this system currently just treks across the overworld, it was supposed to originally also trek up to the roof of the nether here. In fact, I built the nether portal on this side. I don't think I built it on the other side, but I built the nether portal on this side and the tracks up to it before I realized how much of a pain it was to build this across the overworld, and that took me 2 months. And then I subsequently canceled the nether side, which was supposed to connect to my nether farms, which is part of the reason why that's not as full as it ended up being. But yes, this was an insanely complicated project, and it worked really well. It includes automated minecart travel and switching through chunks that there's no player present. Really cool. The project of the season, biggest thing I've ever built in Minecraft, I want to say. Not the prettiest thing I've ever built, but I'd say the biggest overall, as it stretches like 10,000 blocks in the overworld. So anyhow, why don't we take a little bit of a journey along it and see the farms that actually did make the cut to get connected to it. Starting with the Raid Farm, a design by Rayworks, which I modified slightly to only really care about the totems on the output here, and I guess also the emeralds, which I then piped directly into the system over here, and I did AFK for this. I actually got a lot of resources from it, a lot of emeralds, which I never ended up using because it was basically really late in the season when I built this. The next farm we come across is actually one of the earlier farms to be added to the system, is the Ice Farm, which I used quite a bit to gather quite a bit of ice, which I didn't really use much. Basically, the inspiration was this farm is I covered JRD Cool's base in ice, and then I proceed to not do anything with ice again, but I did get tons of ice from it. Actually, that's not true. I did use a bunch of this to make blue ice for the nether hub, although maybe I mined that all. I don't think this was particularly efficient. I think I will, though, maybe build this next season again, because I want to make, like, nether tunnels out of blue ice next season. I kind of wanted to do that this season, but never ended up actually doing it. Next up is the combination cow farm, wheat farm that I built fairly recently, which has given me my food supply, and I also think this is a very nice ethical design for a farm of the sort, because usually what you do is you build like a mushroom farm or a piglin farm on the roof of the nether. Those don't require, well, the piglin farms on the roof of the nether, those don't require all that much effort. And the mushroom farms are effectively not worth it anymore because of that. But also, not just because you gotta actually build a farm on a mushroom island and cover that entire mushroom island in water, so only mushrooms can spawn in one specific spot. But what you also have to do is then make sure nothing can spawn in the spawn chunks, because that will just immediately fill up the passive mob cap. Which basically means it's, for all intents and purposes, impractical to build a passive mob farm in modern Minecraft. This situation is a farm that does require you to AFK here, but does actually get results. And it's gotten a lot, and of course been piped right into my system. And also, giant automatic wheat farm. The next farm here is quite far away from the previous one, which shows how much extra I could have done. But this is a 3-in-1 combo farm. Rooted dirt, clay, and mud farm. I did farm all three of these, and this will be a very interesting farm to build again next season. But I specifically remember with this farm, it taken ages to build, because I guess I just wasn't used to building large redstone contraptions. But also, I had a weird issue with this, where this stone generator here in particular would just randomly have these failures for no apparent reason, which I didn't know how to stop or why they were happening, so I ended up just making the problem a non-issue by making sure if a failure ever did happen, the blocks got safely destroyed without breaking the system. Not the best solution, but a solution nonetheless. And at last, we come to the very end. Oh, hey, look who it is. We come to the very end of the system. My starter base, and most importantly, the iron farm. The first thing that was built and connected up. And I honestly don't know where these zombies are coming from, but, like, they can't reach the completely indoor iron farm that I built at the beginning of the season. This was actually something that was, it took the normal amount of time to build, because this was a large open cave, but I did have to trim down the wall over here a bit to accommodate it. Besides the iron farm out there, this is my starter base. So there's actually a fair amount of stuff around here. And actually, my starter base, I only moved out of here like a month or two ago into my current base. So yeah, most of the season was actually around here. So there's a fair amount of stuff, like my shops, that we can talk about around here. But we're going to start inside the actual starter base itself. Now, obviously, I've moved everything out of here, but I've kept all the chests that I had here, just in case anyone was wondering, including the barrels where I used to store my diamonds before I moved them into a storage system that was clearly labeled. Anvil, we got the room where I used to store wool and signs left over from when Tyler placed a ton of buttons on my base, and I went way overkill in pranking him back. Oh, I'm not sure if I've shown this in a video, but I installed a button here that triggers a wandering trader death trap, and also I sent Tyler down there one. But yeah, so I did that because I was really annoyed with wandering traders coming to my door constantly, so I installed that so that they would just fall into the abyss and never have to be heard from again. Climbing up top here, we got the farm, which sustained me for most of the season, although I only really used half of it because I was using potatoes for a long time, and I just kind of happened to have the carrots in neighboring plots. There's also this melon here, which has for some reason grown a couple extra. As well as a more recent cactus farm. I forget why I needed cactus/green dye, but I did, and I put a bunch of cactus up here for it. I probably should start building automated cactus farms more. I don't think I've ever actually built an automated cactus farm myself on Coolcraft. I know JRD Cool has, but I don't think I have. It's weird, because those are like the easiest farms to ever build. Anyhow. Next to that, we have my rail duping setup, which, as you can see, has a lot of rails from the rail project there. Coming out front, we had a super smelter that I just kind of left there because I kept needing to use it. Oh yeah, also, map art. I did a couple map arts. One of my face, one of Tyler's face, and I was supposed to do one of JRD Cole's face, but I never did because, to be fair, he never really played all that much. And the goal I set for that, we reached far too early. Coming down this way a bit, we have my villager breeder and actually the first iron farm on the server. This, which for some reason stopped working. I don't know why. It's a bug with villagers where they will just not want to have slept correctly after a while, and so no golems was fun, which was nice. because you see, the main reason why I actually built this setup here at the top wasn't to farm the iron golems, but was to prevent them from piling up, because I knew otherwise they'd just spawn and start piling up, so I just automatically killed them, which turned into a pretty efficient iron farm, surprisingly. I didn't actually think villager gossip was that powerful, but apparently it is. Moving on down, of course, we have the villager trading hall. Oh, right, I did this thing, because Jared Cool was in here at one point. I did this thing to annoy him, which basically just spams these bells over and over again. Very funny. Over here's clearly there's been some vandalism here, but here's the setup where we actually get the villagers and convert them and do their trades. Hopefully they're going to be making that a lot nicer of a process, although maybe a bit tedious, more tedious depending on how you consider things, but I think it's mostly a positive change. Obviously we got a whole bunch of villagers back here, and I never really decorated this place because it's so out of the way. I will try to make a proper villager trading system next season. But yeah, we have a bunch of toolsmiths over here to get a bunch of emeralds. Obviously, the librarians where we spend all the emeralds in there. And then some clerics over here, which was for both redstone and so I could sell gold eventually. Additionally, due to the location of this, we also have a window down here at the end of the librarian tunnel into the iron farm, which was pretty cool. Although the cleric's tunnel there is actually basically about to break into the cave. This, I believe, is here to prevent iron golems that may have spawned in here from actually being able to leave or wander. You know. Just a little nice feature there. Moving outside, of course, right up front we have this little smiley face with the lava, which is kind of a reference to this fight that I was having with Tyler and Jared Cole joined in, where there was a lot of lava involved and pain and stuff, and so there's some obsidian, some lava, all that sort of stuff. So I decided I liked the look of that, so I kept it. And I also left a little gravestone here for Tyler. Here lies Tyler, who will never fight Justy here again or else. Moving over this way, we have this honey farm, which I built because Jared Cool was not really having much honey. He had a pretty small honey farm, and I needed a lot of honey for the clay farm that I showed earlier. So yeah, this is full of honey bottles. And it well outpaced anything he did, and I didn't need honey anymore. Nearby to that, we have this little early game sheep farm I made to try to acquire a bit of wool. I forget why I needed this, but I just never removed it for reasons. Anyhow, we can now continue across the bay here into my shopping area, where there are a few shops that have done stuff. We'll start with what I believe was my first shop, which was the slime shop over here. It's supposed to look kind of slimy. And besides that, not much thought was put into it. It's currently fully stocked with slime. 3 diamonds for a stack of blocks. I thought that was a pretty good price. And we did get a few sales at the season. The next shop that I built was the coal shop here. Which had a really weird thing where we sold stacks of coal blocks for a diamond each. And then we also gave away wither skulls and bone blocks with every purchase. Although it appears no one really ever took me up on the bone blocks. And kind of just bled me dry on the wither skulls. So perhaps I could have done that one a little bit better. The probably largest shop here, and most obvious one, which I also built early on, is this shop, which is supposed to be my infrastructure block shop, which was supposed to be selling me building redstone contraptions and shit as a service, but no one ever really used it. I mean, Tyler did use it once to build a giant potion brewing system for him, which he never fully utilized. But yeah, this was an ultimate failure. But the design looks cool, so that was worth it. And finally, the last shop, which definitely doesn't have a name, but this is... I have no idea what was behind the design of this. No idea. But anyhow... Oh, there's a block of diamonds in there. But this sold redstone and glowstone here for, various prices. And I guess that was Jared Cole buying it. I missed one. Funny that I would find one of those now. But yeah, that is my shopping area here. Now, something I didn't talk about yet is this here, which is a rail line Jared Cool built into my base here. I don't know if he ever really had plans to expand it off that way. It was built to be able to, but obviously it never was. Anyhow, we will now go take a look at the rest of the projects that I've done away from my base and not take a look at anything anyone else has done. Oh, right, there's also this. This was a very simple concrete converter I built at one point for making concrete. It was a little bit painful to use, so it wasn't very good, but it did the job. It converted the concrete. First up on the list of things that I did that aren't in my base, the nether hub here. The second time in this server's history that we've actually had a proper nether hub. Season 1, of course, being the first time, and that was pretty big and pretty good. But yeah, this is also a decent nether hub situation here. And blue ice floors. We got a tunnel to the end, which is like the second time in history I've ever actually attempted to decorate a nether tunnel. I think it looks pretty good. And of course, like literally everything else. But that's mostly just spawn and like a mesa biome / desert. So nothing too interesting off that way. Coming down beneath the nether hub, first of all, you can witness the carnage of early games, staircases, and pre-nether hub shenanigans. But more importantly, you'll notice what is the nether side to the rail system from the overworld, because obviously it's using chunk loaders. The nether side is the thing, and this was kind of difficult because it was packed in so tight, one for each chunk in the overworld. Moving up to the roof of the nether, we have a few portals and a boatway here with no boat because I flew here. Whoops. Anyhow, off to the side you'll see Tyler's gold farm, which is a design made by him, so it's obviously not that efficient and has a lot of issues with the storage system, as well as the nether side of Jaredy Cool's shulker farm. So that's pretty cool, as well as this ice boatway here, which I made to transport me between my base and farms. So here's where the ice boatway comes to my base. This is my base's portal. Nothing fancy at all. But right there is the portal that allows us to get to the raid farm quickly. And then further down that way, we have a portal to a pillager outpost. And also the wheat farm / meat farm. Hey, that kind of rhymes. But anyhow, we're not going to look at that because that's good boring. We're instead going to go look at the other farms that I've built here in the nether. The first farm we're going to come across here is a gold farm that I've actually kind of designed myself. Now, it wasn't my original idea for this type of design for a farm. I basically saw a Nomango video where he built basically the same farm, but didn't provide a world download. So I spent a while reverse engineering the farm design into this crazy thing where we have giant magma platforms with a wall of trapdoors that has a bunch of turtle eggs out front of it, that then allows the mobs to get picked up by minecarts and funneled directly into the center where there's a player waiting to kill them. This is such an efficient design that I think I crashed. Did I crash the server or myself a couple times? I don't know. I know it broke a lot, which that's a good thing, right? When your farm breaks a lot, that means it's really efficient or terrible. I don't know. But this was very efficient. I know I've actually gotten a couple out of memory errors from Minecraft a couple times while I was using this farm, which is very weird. But yes, this thing produced gold like a tank. And actually, we have a bunch of it stored up here. Of course, right next door to any good gold farm is a piglin barding farm. And this is an expanded version of one that I built in prior seasons. As you can see, it's got a lot of these guys. We got to churn through all that gold we're getting really, really quickly. And of course, that gets stored down here, which is, of course, our renewable quartz, a little bit of obsidian, and also some other things like ender pearls. Tipped arrows and leather, apparently. I forgot. I feel like I've gone looking for leather in the past because I haven't had any. And it was right here the entire time. Genius! To be clear, the steak farm does also generate a lot of leather now, which is how I get it now, but that was a way that I could have gotten it beforehand. And then all the way out here, you can check my coordinates, we come to the farm that I spent a fair amount of time building up to at the beginning of the season as my first major project. That is, of course, the coal farm. The farm which is solely intended for farming coal and nothing else. Specifically of the block variety, if possible. This is, kind of a standard in process, and it's a standard design, The normal grinding process of just spawn-proofing an area with buttons and then watching as all the spawns come in to your satisfaction, and actually we can show that out here. Pretty standard stuff, buttons everywhere, no spawning for anything apart from in the farm. Pretty simple project, but I AFK'd here a lot, got an absolute ton of coal blocks, and yeah, it's a pretty good project. And now we are looking at one of the first farms I made on the server. You can tell that it's one of the first farms because it's made out of random blocks. the blocks that I happened to have at the time. Yes, this is the new age slime farm that I built, which is surprisingly more efficient than actually digging out a slime chunk. It requires a fair bit of effort, obviously, but it is, of course, insanely efficient. Although I haven't been here a lot recently, so it's probably a little bit... Ow. Yeah, there you go. I think it was actually producing so many slime balls that one single hopper was not enough to completely or satisfy the output. That's how freaking good this was. This farm happened to be directly next door to the Quad Witch Hut perimeter. This was the sole reason that I chose this seed for this season, was the fact that it had 4 separate witch huts, all within a reasonable distance of each other, capable of providing me stuff. This is also the hole that happened to make me filthy stinking rich, as I was able to go through behind the World Eater, which is still here actually, and pick out the diamonds. And I got a ton of diamonds from that. I also got other side twice from being in this hole, and also while I was in the process of making it, actually specifically digging the trenches. I remember this. I got a bunch of scam messages on Discord, and I made a comment about it in the video, which I don't know if it was obvious that I knew it was a scam, but yeah, I knew that was a scam, by the way. Anyhow, that is about it for what I've done this season, at least that I can specifically remember. So now I'm going to go and show off some of the things that other people have done this season, starting with the rail line here, which goes over to Jared Cool's base. Such a efficient mode of transport, isn't it? First place that we'll see, of course, is the station at Jared Cool's base. Well, the main station, because he decided to build it, which has lines that goes to my base, Tyler's base, and of course, all around his base. Now, you may remember Jared Cool's base as the place that I covered in Ice a while ago, and this is the first time I think that one of my Super Bowl pranks has actually been like basically entirely removed. So, yeah, that was apparently a thing. But yeah, here he has what is a roller coaster here. There's a couple just houses for some reason just in this area here, as well as his not very productive honey farm, which is why I built my own that you saw earlier. Of course, in the center of this lake here, he's got a big old, really old mob farm design. And yeah, that kind of drains his items down below here into this dome for no apparent reason. Over this way is where the main part of his base is, where we got a factory and, I don't know, fishing village things, but we'll get to that in a second. First of all, we'll check out the starting area here, which is basically just a spawn-proofed interior here. It's got some carpet on the ground, right on the side of a cliff, with a storage area here that goes back to a storage system. Now, this is a weird type of storage system that he designed, and I don't think he even finished it properly. Where he's basically just got a whole bunch of different categories of items that are stored in shulker boxes that got automatically stored and sorted all back here. This was a bit of a project to build, as I did help him with it. Of course, he's got a villager breeder iron farm combo here, and I believe his has actually worked for a while. I think it's probably broken by now, let's be honest. Anyhow, coming over this way to the factory part of the thing, which has, for some reason, a couple houses that are just built into the wall here, right underneath the factory. This is his tree farm, as you can see, which also connects to a blast chamber, which I have helped him with fixing issues here plenty o' times. Moving in this direction, you'll see that we have, in fact, a walkway here that goes into a roller coaster and a bridge that goes over the water. I don't recall there being a village right here last I knew, so yeah, I'm fairly certain there wasn't a village here. Especially since this is like the old village. Oh wait, okay, I knew there was this wheat farm here, which isn't too dense in terms of wheat. I didn't know he'd built an actual village here. Interesting. Let's see. See, even I find things that I was unaware of existed on this server. Crossing the river here, we get over to Jared Cool shopping area, which I'm probably going to declare the most successful shopping area on the server. Probably down to the fact that his wood shop here has been bought up by me a bunch of times because I don't have my own supply of wood. I will probably have my own supply of wood next season just because. Anyhow, he also got the honey shop here, which he actually stocked way too late after I needed honey. As well as the other one, the wool shop. Which, yeah, that was a pretty interesting shop design of automatically packing the wool for you. There's also apparently supposed to be a mob drop shop here. That never would have gotten any sales and was never built. So, ha 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 ha. And finally, we have cycled around to the other side of the base where the roller coaster is at. Also, there's a rail line stop up here. That's right. Yeah, I'm not going to ride this because this is pretty long. Basically just goes around the base. But yeah, he's got the roller coaster entrance right here. And, yeah, that's about it from JRD Cole's base. Now we can go look at Tyler's base in a little bit more detail. And of course we can get there with the rail lines, which is actually, I think, actually one of the fastest ways to get to Tyler's base from JRD Cole's base. So, whee! And we're here. Alright, there's also more stuff here. Anyhow, this is the station Tyler built, which is actually inside of his base here, as you can see. He also apparently was planning to build another train line, but never actually built it. Yeah, likely never to be built. Purple line coming soon to him. I don't know where this was supposed to go either. Actually, departure board. The green line. Okay, we have orange line, green line, purple line, non-existent. Well, the purple line was also non-existent. And also, he didn't apparently have a place where it would go. Let's see. Orange line goes to JRD Cole's bases, his base, roof of the nether, and end portal. I don't think it goes to the end portal, by the way. We could probably edit this. See, the green line goes to JRD Cole's base, my base, and must take orange line, yep, and then no purple line. Okay, cool. Over this way, he's got a villager room and a villager expansion, which he never used. Yeah, he didn't decorate this. This is one of the few rooms that he didn't decorate. Let's see. Authorized personnel. Oh, yeah, I actually won't go there. Alright, of course, this is the main area of his base. The entrance is, of course, out here. We'll go with that later, but he's got his storage room here. And, I actually don't know what the point of this room is besides a bed. But, yeah, that's there. Down this way, we got some villagers in here, and, I don't know why there's a ladder there. Over here, we have an enchantment table room for some reason. Like, who uses that anymore, am I right? Down this way, there's his achievement room where for some reason he lists all the achievements in the game and wants to try and achieve them. Oh, he actually lists the date that he gets got some of these. Wow. He did not get very many of them. Very hard not achieve. You know what? I'm going to spite him. I'm going to do that one before we end this episode. Over here is actually a relatively new, not automated melon and pumpkin farm. Interesting. Nothing there, although that looks like that should be a 3x3 door. Alright, moving over to the other side where there's actually stuff going on. Right in here is, I believe, the storage to his iron farm, and also a rail duper for some reason. Yeah, he's also got a weird sort of storage system up here. Oh no, this is a crafting system, that's what it was. Moving on down to his potion room here, which was originally just like this stuff with a floor like this in this small area here. And then I kind of expanded this to be able to put in these, potion brewing systems for him. I don't think they ever really got that much of a use. You really got to build these things early on and be able to sell them, because otherwise I don't really know much of a use for them. Did he actually designate what these were all going to be? No, he didn't. He just didn't use them all. Fortunately, this project I spent a while on was never fully used. Sad. Moving on down, I believe we have his terrible furnace room, and mind you, this looks like a simple just furnace array with Minecraft on top of it. But no, there is a ton of logic in the back here. Well, there's a bit of logic in the back here that does something. What? No clue, but there's logic there nonetheless. Also, this room has an interesting design. Moving on down, we get to his sugarcane room. I thought he said he was gonna decorate this, but he didn't. Anyhow, only automated sugarcane farm on the server, which is weird. I really got to start building these farms. Continuing on, he got his general crop farms area where you can manually farm stuff. And then, of course, in here, his personally designed, which realistically it was me who designed it, and he just did some extra stuff on top of it, tree farm, which, yeah, it's not all that efficient, but I guess it is a thing. Oh, there's also this. This piglin, which I just randomly brought here. I don't remember what the deal was, but I remember he was like slightly mad that me and JRD Cole were just kind of messing with him in his base. And this guy happened to be at my base, so I put him in a boat and took him over here and just kind of paraded him through his base. until he was down there. That was an interesting time. I don't think that was recorded. Would have been nice to record that. Alright, and then down here at the end of the hallway, he's got an elevator and my face. And go all the way down into the strip mines here, because that's just where it goes. Yeah, it's not all that special, but I mean, you can see he actually did a lot of strip mining. Like, I generally don't do this much anymore, because I find better ways of getting the resources that I need. I probably should. And actually store all the deep slate as well. For when it's inevitably needed. But, yeah, this is actually very impressive. It went very, very far in this direction. Alright, then moving outside, we have, well, a mess is what I'd describe this as. There's a lava farm here for some reason. A bunch of trees around this place. Oh, roller coaster here, as well as a bunch of farms, like cactus, purpur, and, a manual sugarcane farm, as well as a bamboo farm. And then moving over here, we have his shops. So here we have the shop that never actually got used, which was just like a less good version of my crane build the infrastructure shop, which was kind of dumb because him and Jared Cool were the target market for my shop. And then considering I already had a shop to do stuff, he built a shop and he doesn't play nearly as much. So he built a shop as well for it, which means Jared Cole could have been the only customer, but he never would. So this shop makes no sense. Services make no sense on this server. I'll say that. Over here we got the Shulker Box shop, which is currently sold out. Which otherwise, the shops that I skipped over here, he's got his temporary potion shop here, which he moved outside, and apparently he put a Rickroll on here. Moving on from that, we have his other potion shop, which is apparently open. I didn't know if this was open or actually works. It's not completely stocked and was never used. It also apparently says that this is how it's finished, like this. All open like. So, yeah. Moving on this way, we got the mob farm that I designed in Season 2. For some reason, he decided to build that. He even built the thing that I, for some reason, have in the schematic to trigger flushing platforms that I had in Season 2. As well as the Shulker farm, which broke at some point. And so it doesn't work anymore. On top of all that, obviously there's a pretty long roller coaster around here for reasons. So yeah, that's most of Tyler's base. However, there is one last thing that is connected to Tyler's base here, and that is his nether roof portal, which is down this railway he built. Considering that he built his nether roof portal far away from his actual base, and, you know, far enough away where this minecart almost kind of makes sense, but still takes a while. Just shows that he could have gone through his normal portal and up to the roof via other means. But yeah, this is how apparently he gets to the roof of the nether instead of just going through his normal nether portal, which would be like 1.5 million times faster. Although I will say, this does look like a pretty nice station. But yeah, then it just kind of poops into this nether portal. So, yeah, I guess there's that. I have now arrived at the world spawn here, as you can tell by the Wither Skull Collection Cube, effectively, is what this is. And there's no rails here, probably because they were destroyed by Wither Skulls. By the way, these rails were to acquire shulkers out here. There's not too much around this world spawn, besides, I guess, the first crafting table. Besides the turtle breeding area. This is where I got all the turtle eggs that I used for the gold farm. Besides that, yeah, there's not really anything around spawn. Probably should build up spawn a bit in the next season. At least make it an interesting path to another portal. So yeah, there's that. Now for what I believe is one of the larger projects that was actually built on the season, and also the final actual thing that we have to cover in here in this world, which is the golf course that Jared Cool built. I think it was last episode actually that I was helping him dig it out, and I did some more helping digging out off camera with the holes around here. But yeah, it is finished now, and yeah, it is gigantic. These are the default scaled maps, I believe. And you can see this goes all the way out here, all the way over here, and then down here. But this whole alone, I think 16 by the looks of things, is like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 maps long. That's insane, because like, from what I know about the whole, this here is the front 9. And then the back 9 is everything else that stretches around there. So yeah, this was a bit of a thing to build. I think he also, yeah, he has got a bit of tutorial area over there. And I'm not going to really show this all off right now because it is incredibly large. But I will say, but we are planning on doing a bonus episode of Season 5 in the coming weeks after this episode premieres. It's not going to premiere. After this episode comes out, we're going to come back to this world for a little while and do a round of golf. So, if you want to see that, get subscribed, I guess, because, I don't know, it's probably going to come out after the start of Season 6. But yeah, that is now the entire world. Well, the interesting bits at least, seen, I guess. Alright, so just to show Tyler how actually easy it is to get the caves and the cliffs, I am going to get it right here, right now from scratch at my base in a 3x3 hole, no less. Because mind you, you only need a 1x1 hole in order to actually acquire this. It's actually going to take a little bit longer to dig this out. But I'm going to show him that, yeah, you can kind of just do it with very little planning, effectively. So yeah, I guess see you at the bottom of the world. Alright, I have dug down all the way to the bottom of the world here, and yeah, now all I got to do is fly up to Y320 and let her drop. Hopefully I don't actually move. Alright, okay, well past it now. And down I go. Woo! Oh. Don't tell me that I actually have to go down all the way as far as it possibly... Okay, maybe I just can't be flying, actually. Hold up. Be right back. Anyhow, as I was about to say, now I will get the achievement. I swear, if I don't do this now that he's actually logged in, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I think I'm just gonna try replacing the bottom with water here, not slime blocks. That's gotta be the issue, right? Go round number 2. Okay, that works. Yeah, I can't bounce on slime blocks. I actually have to do that. Alright then. Alright then, yeah, so now this will be here in my backyard. This hole, if anyone wants to, try flying out of it. Well then, guys, that's just about it for me here. So I'm gonna have to say, first of all, before we go, I have put a copy of all my items in my inner chest in these here chests. So if you want to take a look at my inventory as of right now, then that's where it's at. But with that out of the way, I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next season of Coolcraft, or maybe the bonus episode. Bye!